I'll be the first to say I hate modern gaming. Once Fortnite released, every game needed a battle pass. Every game needed to be live service. Every game needed to be a battle royale. Even though the trend of BRs really started with Arma and on Minecraft before PUBG came and made it mainstream. But this isn't what I want to talk about today. I just want to preface that I'm not going to sit here and defend a multi-billion-dollar company that perpetuates an industry that abuses some of the most talented artists of this generation just to line their pockets and buy themselves a second yacht. But I digress. I'm making this video because the community around COD has become more than just toxic. It's filled with ignorance, manipulation, manufactured outrage, and no one has an original thought anymore. Let me explain. Now, there's a lot of talk about what makes a COD game good or bad, and most people talk subjectively. They have their preferences for what they personally enjoy, and the COD community is one of, if not the largest gaming community in the world. And due to the internet, anyone can put their opinion out for the world to see. I'm doing it right now. So everyone has something they like, and it's less of a community and more of a mash of the most opinionated gamers with no actual compromises. Fine, fair. A new game comes out every year. If some people don't like one, they'll probably like the other. But I am, while holding my own opinions, able to look at things objectively. And if you've read the title of the video, then you probably guess what I'm talking about. Modern Warfare 2022 is one of the best CODs ever. People very quickly forgot COD has been a lot of different things, and people like to boil things down to Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, best CODs ever, these new CODs are slow and too realistic. It just reeks of nostalgia. Did you guys know that the first COD wasn't even on console, but actually PC exclusive? Originally it had health packs, but after Halo came and revolutionized the industry, COD would shamelessly steal regenerative health. COD was originally a tribute to veterans of World War II, with the entirety of D-Day being a mission in the first games. It was gritty, slow, and for the time, an extremely realistic depiction of war. For the time. Fast forward to COD 4, and things have become more dramatic. Gameplay was sped up, guns and themes were modernized, movement was revamped, but with consoles being weak and FOV not being a topic back then, most gamers wouldn't take advantage of strafe jumping. They would ADS through the entire map, around corners. Dropshot was the only form of advanced movement at all the way up until Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. The gaming landscape had evolved and realized console gamers can handle 3 dimensions rather than just 2, and decided to add jetpacks. And crouch sliding was in COD a year prior with Ghost, but a vocal part of the community actually mocked the phrase, slide into the action with Call of Duty, as they didn't like that COD was being sped up with things like sliding, stuff they shamelessly stole from games like Titanfall, which was made by ex-Infinity Ward devs at the time. Things change, and COD not ever having a set motif, they are actually trend chasers that'll do anything to stay relevant and copy whatever the industry standards are at the time. Infinite Warfare was the nail in the coffin, I think. When they released the trailer, it was one of the most disliked videos on YouTube and the most hated COD trailer to date. You couldn't find anyone being optimistic about this game, and it was because people were sick of COD having advanced movement. They wanted boots on the ground action, classic COD, with all the innovations and quality of life improvements made over the decade, but you know. So they also bundled Modern Warfare Remastered with every purchase of Infinite Warfare. Yay! That pissed us off even more. After that, we got 2 more CODs with World War II and Black Ops 4, some of the most phoned-in, devoid of passion games ever made. Black Ops 4 didn't even have a campaign. It was instead replaced with a battle royale called Blackout that you had to pay for. It was safe to say COD had fell off. People weren't buying it because they intrigued them. It was more like an obligation. Stockholm Syndrome. They despised the series, but it's COD, why not? It's dumb fun. No depth, just turn your brain off. And that's fine. But let's not pretend that never happened. COD was at its lowest point. And then we got the only innovation we've had in years. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. A reboot of the original trilogy Modern Warfare, and a reboot for the entire IP of COD. This was to signify that from now on, COD's going to set a new standard and pioneer a new industry for the games with innovation we've been asking for, and it worked. New engine. It was really just the old engine, but completely overhauled, which is extremely impressive and deserving of praise on its own. It had reworked gameplay, complete with new mechanics, detailed gunsmith, realistic and heavy guns, super detailed in itself. Movement is no longer stiff, and the animations have been remade from the ground up with state-of-the-art motion capture. It was like a golden goose walked into your house and shit a golden egg right on your fucking face. and people loved it. No more loot boxes, no more pay-to-win elements. Now cosmetics were hot. Like Fortnite, you could buy bundles with new skins, not just for your gun like the old CODs, but skins that made your operators, that could be unlocked through in-game challenges, look cooler. Then, after Blackout was a colossal failure, they introduced Warzone, a brand new free-to-play battle royale. It took the industry by storm, mostly due to COD's special spin being loadouts, that could be customized, obviously. It could be found and used, which no other BR was doing, and it also having amazing AAA levels of tight and responsive gameplay and a fleshed out first-person perspective. Gamers couldn't get enough, but it wasn't to last. Activision realized what they had and they wanted more. They forced the next two games, Cold War and Vanguard, to be integrated into Warzone. That broke everything. Cold War and Vanguard are some piss-poor excuses for CODs. Cold War uses a dated version of the engine, clearly a step back in game design and generally clunky compared to 2019, with taped on mechanics that don't add anything but instead create more frustration that 2019 clearly solved. And Vanguard, don't even get me started. It was like a mod for 2019. Terrible story, done to death theme, gameplay was absurdly unbalanced. Breakneck speeds with the time to kill that would make the OG M16 with stopping power on netcode from 2007 blush. 2019 wasn't perfect either. Streamers and influencers found ways to exploit. You can abuse aim assist and slide cancel, having unlimited tack sprint with a slide that would break the camera of anyone playing on console. Because they didn't have an FOV slider. Couldn't react properly. Inflating a lot of people's egos, making them think they were a lot better than they were, which will compound into this next point. Now, stay with me. I'm almost done rambling. Modern Warfare 22 had big shoes to fill, and the team at Infinity Ward intended to do even better than last year. The only studio with some passion left decided to do something called innovation and add even more mechanics into the mix. Unfortunately, the average COD player has room temperature IQ and a complex gameplay scares them, so they didn't appreciate this very much. They added tuning, ledge hanging, fixed sliding so it couldn't be abused by streamers, rebalanced perks with a timer so the faster you could accrue points, the sooner you would unlock the perks, including a permanent fourth perk. Now, personally, I didn't like this change. They also removed Specialist. While it was overpowered, it felt really good. It was giving up kill streaks, so it felt like a worthy trade-off. They kept red dots off the minimap, which everyone finds controversial because it incentivizes camping. That's weird. Camping's been an issue since the very first COD, and it's been prevalent throughout all FPSs. Modern Warfare 22 actually adds things like AP ammo as an attachment, drill charges, and snapshot grenades. Things to help alleviate camping. And Modern Warfare 22 is actually really fast when compared to the previous games. Other games in the market and generally only fix the issues 2019 and Vanguard brought to light. But that also means streamers are no longer as good. They don't have any crutches to fall back on because they aren't as good as they thought. Me? I was top 1,000 best NA CSGO players back in 2015 and top 10% best players in the world for Modern Warfare 2019. I've been playing video games for over 2 decades and I'm a Korean American. That doesn't actually mean anything, but I swear it adds to my natural proclivity to be good at virtual media. I guess this helps me see through them better too. They've manufactured outrage around Modern Warfare 2022. It was clear Infinity Ward had a vision for the game, and people tend to forget we're consumers, not developers. Just because we play games too much doesn't mean we suddenly know more than the people who literally code the game. Not that they're infallible, but if these streamers know so much more about game balance, why haven't they banded together and made a game for themselves? There are free engines on the market, a lot of tools for indie devs to use, and they're very powerful. I can tell you why. Because they don't care. This is their livelihood, and they can't make easy content when they are clearly better than everyone else, so there's more stock in what they say. Don't you know? The better you are at games, the more valid your opinion is. Except for half the streamers use cheat engine, VPN into bot lobbies, and abuse the meta against people who would rather play the biggest casual game in the AAA space than sweat out the only 2 hours they're able to play this week. It's especially telling a lot of people parrot these guys like it's gospel, even though not a single one could actually write a line of code, let alone comprehend the actual complexity of mechanics all intersecting to make a fun and engaging casual shooter. You got questions? I'll answer them. I suffer from no right brain activity, so I'm not very creative. I couldn't make a game myself, but I sure as shit tried. I actually written lines of code, worked with Source, Infinity Ward 4 engine, and the Unreal Engine 5. Because I wanted to make something, but life happened. I've got a wife, a job, and I can't dedicate myself to indie development. I'd love to. Trust me. So I'll settle for this. I can think for myself and realize Modern Warfare 22 is the best COD of the reboots and absolutely deserving a top 5 in general. It's not like the old CODs, but it shouldn't be. The old CODs still exist. You can go and play them right now in all of their glory. But I absolutely wouldn't want them again because 1, they already exist, and 2, they're super fucking dated. It's unfunny how dated they are. They're really nostalgic, but after like 2 hours, they aren't as mechanically depth or as fun as the newer games, especially Modern Warfare 22. And don't get me started on, but it's too slow. No, you just suck. Movement absolutely still exists, and you just can't break people's cameras because even consoles can access an FOV slider. Turns out all those streamers aren't all they were lauded to be. There are tons of people without the resources or luck to be recognized, but are absolutely better than streamers and pros. But they're just guys like those influencers that play the game too much. They just weren't recognized. Anyways, ran over, can't wait for Modern Warfare 3. It's just going to be dumbed down Modern Warfare 2 with a revamped perk system. Camping will still be an issue. Movement won't save anyone from getting shot in the back. The live service model is still a fucking plague. You guys gotta stop taking things so seriously and think for yourselves. You're allowed to not like a game, but calling it the worst COD ever makes you look like a dumbass with the IQ of a brick. Actually look at things objectively. Enjoy what you can. Don't listen to the guys who make a living off of views on the internet. Please don't send death threats to the artists and developers of these games. They've got it bad enough trying to make a living in this industry. If you didn't like COD this year, just have some patience. You'll get a new one next year. And it's not like the genre isn't saturated to hell as is. Goodbye, and good night.